Some on the left wasting no time criticizing Trump's joint address, refusing to even celebrate Trump honoring a child battling cancer.
This is disgusting. The president made a spectacle out of praising a young man who thus far survived pediatric cancer, as if the president had something to do with that.
I hope he has a long life as a law enforcement officer, but I hope he never has to defend the United States Capitol against Donald Trump's supporters. And if he does, I hope he isn't one of the 6 who loses his life to suicide.
Fox News contributor Joe Concha joins us now. I mean, Joe, there were an hour and 40 minutes worth of political moments that Democrats could find a way to attack regarding this speech, but they chose to include the moment where a child with cancer who wants to be a police officer was honored. I mean, grasping at straws at best. What do you think?
13 years old, right, Carly? And as usual, the people paid 7 figures to provide, sober, objective analysis, are completely disconnected with the American public. CBS poll taken last night after the president's address, 76% approved of Trump's speech. Most viewers tuning in said it made them feel hopeful, proud, these are quotes, presidential, inspiring, and unifying. A big majority also called it entertaining. A CNN poll taken right after this address as well found nearly the same results. Nearly 7 in 10 viewers, 69%, had a positive reaction to the president's address last night. And the big takeaway, besides how comfortable and confident President Trump looked, was the Democrat reaction during the address on the other side of the aisle and by the media, like on MSNBC afterwards. I mean, we saw Democrats in that chamber holding up what looked like bingo card signs, interrupting, heckling, even walking out. Who is advising this party? Are they taking their own cues from Rachel Maddow and Nicole Wallace over at MSNBC? Because not a good idea. If this is the plan, it's a hot mess in a dumpster fire, and it shows why the Democratic Party right now is polling lower than it ever has in its history. No message, no solutions, just complaining, whining, and even, as you mentioned, criticizing Trump for honoring a 13-year-old cancer victim. I don't know. It shows once again that rock bottom does have a basement.
Joe, isn't everything you just said emblematic of a wider Democratic Party problem? The fact that without policy, they resort to pettiness.
That's the thing, right? When you see 45 senators, Todd, for example, vote against a bill that says biological men should not compete against biological women in sports, and every single senator on the Democratic side votes against that bill, that shows, okay, we are the resistance, but what's your solution? To allow men in women's locker rooms? And you could go down the line. How do you not applaud when border crossings are at an all-time low? How do you not applaud all the things the president has done in his first 6 weeks? You could disagree with a couple things, sure, but the way they are acting right now is like petulant children, and the party's not going to get anywhere or win any elections anytime soon if this is the posture.
Yeah, Joe Concha. Yeah, and a real headline there that you mentioned, just want to reiterate it. 76% of Americans approve of the speech, according to a CBS poll. CNN at 69% had a positive reaction. Yeah. So that's a bipartisan reaction right there, according to those 2 polls, that a majority of Americans did like what the president had to say yesterday.
And to your point, Joe, he was feeling it 100%. Joe Concha, got to leave it there. Thank you, sir.